Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. Today we continue the trap series right here at BusyWorksBeats.com/trap. Today I'm going to show you how to make a hard trap beat. Now this is focused on very specific sound selection. So we're going to start with a choir sound from Nexus. We're going to play starting at C sharp. That's going to give it an eerie feel. Now the specific patch is from the expansion from, we have here, where was that at? HW2 Core, Hollywood 2 Core Library, Vocals, Angel Song. That's where that, or Angel Sing, excuse me. That's where that preset came from. Then we have a staccato section for the strings, very short, plucky style strings. Now this one comes from me just searching. I right click. You can actually search for terms if you search the word hit. This is probably from a Hollywood expansion. I have all three. This is orchestral, hit, split, staccato. So we're going to be playing. You know, we're going to play the half steps. All right, so that's going to give it a cinematic feel. Then we have a nice aggressive snare we can use for snare bounces. We have a nice 808, great for subs. We have a nice kick we can layer with the 808, another kick we can layer. We have string staccato. Those sounds are from BusyWorksBeats.com. The two kicks are from X Drums, and the 808 booming is from our new 808 Science Drums 2. Then we have another staccato string. We're going to play an octave higher. So we're going to play. You know, so we're gonna play that for a more shrill sound. Then we have a scream from the the Halloween expansion in Nexus. That's just gonna add, you know, that creepy vibe. Then we have an organ. We can do. Same thing that we did with the choir. Then we have some cymbals to layer in here from X Drums, X hi-hats. So since you have so many sounds, let's double click everything. And I'm going to hit shift and left click to unhighlight MIDI out. We don't need that one. Let's open up our mixer. Let's go to a blank mixer insert, in this case insert 1. Let's right click and let's go to channel routing, route selected channels starting from this track. That will name everything in your mixer. It's great for when you have a lot of sounds unrouted to the mixer. Okay, so let's get started with the choir. We're going to play. I might do a change up in the choir just to see what works better. So let's record an extra 4 bars or so. So we're at 138 BPM. Let's go to the playlist. And I'm just going to turn the metronome on and play as I go. I'm starting again. Let me show you the notes. Before we begin, let's go to piano roll. So we're playing C sharp. Give you those low octaves. So we're playing the same thing in 3 octaves. Then I'm just going up a half step from C sharp to D. That creates tension, which is used in trap music. And then we're going down to B. Have that as a little break even. So that's what we're doing. So let's record that. I wasn't ready, so let's do that again. Okay, so the trick is just holding those 2 bass notes all the way through. Now, we just want to make sure it lines up. Now, it's okay if the notes are a little bit early because it takes a while for the choir to sound. So we can literally cheat. Let's just hit Control C. Let's go to pattern 2. This is the great part about knowing music theory. You can basically simplify it. Let's cheat and hit Control C and Control V. Let's paste it into the organ. Now let's turn down the organ because we don't want it to overshadow the vocals. Let's go to our playlist. Let's add in pattern 1 and 2. Let's go to the playlist. Let's turn the choir down a bit too. Okay, so that's just, you can use that as a musical introduction if you want. Let's add a scream. All we're gonna do here is just add a note. It's the same pitch for every key. So you can use that as a drop sound effect if you want. Now let's get into the staccato. Staccato is gonna be a little different because we're gonna re-trigger the notes. So let's record that. Notes in automation. Again, it's the C sharp that we're playing in. Same exact notes. One thing I forgot to do is turn the metronome on. So let's go back, turn on the metronome because I want to play it. 1, 2, 3, 4, dum 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 dum. So I got to play to the metronome. So that's going to help us keep track of where we are. Hit the wrong note at the end because I turned away. And let's just make sure this is lining up with the grid. Sometimes when you record in FL Studio, it's off the grid. You can see it's a little early, so let's just hit Alt right 1, 2, 3, 4 to get it closer to where it should be, and then let's hit Alt Q to quantize the notes. I just turned my start time all the way up, sensitivity all the way up. That way, the sounds are locked into the grid. It's okay to be quantized in trap music. You can see there's a lot of bass, so we're going to be mixing this so that the bass is only in the stereo, so we can have the 808 dominate the mono area. I'll show you how to do that. So again, we can kind of cheat here. Let's hit Control C for the string staccato. Let's go to pattern 5, hit Control V. Let's go inside the piano roll. Let's hit Control up so we go up an octave. And it gives us that brighter tone. Now we can hit Shift, pull this stuff over. So it's a build up. Let's just turn that down. Let's turn the string staccato down a bit as well. So it sounds like the organ is off a little bit, so let's quantize that as well. I forgot the organ's not the choir, so you can actually hear it's transient. So let's hit Alt right and then hit hit Alt Q to quantize. We need the organ to be locked onto the grid. So now we have the musicality. Let's go to pattern 6 and start building out the drums. Now I'm going to start with the kick drum and the snare. Then we're going to add in the 808. So don't worry about how loud stuff is yet. We're going to have to turn the instruments down so that the drums dominate. First, let's start off with the cymbal on the downbeat. Let's just add that on pattern 6. So I'm going to do 1, 1, 2, 1. So I'm going to add the other cymbal. Might just repeat that. It's important to have those high frequencies, especially when you have these orchestral sounds. So let's right click, fill each 2 steps for the hi-hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, but it do. So we need to make the hi-hat pattern longer. Then fill each 2 steps and figure out where we want that do part. So let's listen in for the hi-hats. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, but it do. So here's where the stutter is. Let's turn the hi-hats down a bit. So I want to have a hi-hat roll at the end. So let's clone this and make that last pattern different. So I want the stutter earlier. So let's add the at the end. Let's go to piano roll. Let's delete all the notes in between. Let's make these two notes occupy the whole area. Actually, not the whole area. I only want it to go. So I wanted to go pause, pause. So let's go to snap the grid half step, hit Control U to chop it up. That way we have a different ending. Let's add the open hi-hat in here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's gonna go on the and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3. So let's add that in. You can do it as a build-up element if you want. Probably be best to do it that way. And 1 and 2 and 3 and let's turn the hi-hats down a bit. Now we need to add our kick and snare, so let's go back to the beginning. Work out a kick pattern. So the snare is going to go on the 3 and 7 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this snare you can go dip, chip, chip, chip. You know, you can create snare rolls with this. So you can get pretty creative. Okay, so now we just need to copy our kick pattern. Let's go to pattern 11. Let's go to the 808. Let's hit Control V. Now we're going to give the 808 notes so that it has a different tone. But what I'm going to do is go by how it feels. I'm going to turn off my mic so I can play my speakers and I can feel the 808. And then I'll go back and show you the notes and why they work. Change of the snare rhythm so it's not doing the triplet, the 3 hit every single time. Change up the 808 pattern just a bit. Let's leave out a note. Of course, we need to mix. We need to take the bass from these instruments like this sound and move it to the side. So let me show you how to use a mid-side EQ to do that. So let's open up a mid-side EQ. I'm going to use passive EQ. It's a little bit lighter, but I usually use UAD BX Digital from Brainworks. And let's pull up the passive EQ from Native Instruments. Let's switch it to mid-side mode, and let's use a high-pass filter. Let's turn off the filter control. Let's go to the mid or mono, and let's use a high-pass filter up to about 220, so we get rid of the bass in the low in the mono. We can do that for, you know, everything. So let's do it for the choir. Let's do it for our other organ. Let's click the down arrow, save preset as, drag it over top the organ. So that way we're cutting out the bass in the middle. Switch out the kick for kick IH instead. Let's start mixing or leveling. Just want to make sure stuff isn't too loud. I'm going to pan the organ a little to the right, choir a little to the left. Now you just go back and add a verse idea. Let's work on the rhythm a little bit and then we'll wrap it up. Let's add a little saturation to the 808. Let's open up Decapitator from Soundtoys. Let's turn up the drive knob. Let's add aggression to the sound. Let's pull back the mix level a bit. You can even pull it down an octave, control down. That's really, really low. All right, so now you just go back and add your verse. That's it. If you want to continue our series, just go to busyworksbeats.com/trap or click that link below the video to get these project files for free. Thanks for watching today. It's busyworksbeats.com.
Create complete compositions with comprehension. Master music theory. Visit busyworksbeats.com/music theory for your free bonuses and free music theory tutorials. Professional mixing secrets finally revealed. Get 3 free videos straight from the new Mixing Academy complete course package at busyworksbeats.com/mac. Want to learn how to make beats like the pros? Join now for free at busyworksbeats.com and learn the secrets of the pros.